Hey guys, welcome back to PlayStation Live from E3. We're broadcasting live from the PlayStation booth at E3 right this second. Got some good stuff to talk about. Real quick though, want to give you a heads up. If you go to PlayStation.blog, yes, you just type PlayStation.blog into your web browser and it magically takes you where you need to go. Go to PlayStation blog. We're actually taking your votes on the best games of E3. So we want your vote. We're getting thousands and thousands of them in. Keep them coming because we're gonna announce all of the winners here next week. But good stuff there. I am thrilled to be joined by Hess Barber and Adam Orth from First Contact Entertainment. We're here to talk about ROM Extraction, PlayStation VR title that I'm personally very, very excited about.
Cool.
First, welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Great to be here.
And tell me about, give me that elevator pitch. You know, I mean, that's the thing with VR. Video will only take you so far. I think you have to get into the experiential side of it. So tell me about that elevator pitch on ROM Extraction. What will I do when I play it?
Okay, I'll kick it off. So,
Yeah.
so the idea was always to focus, ROM was supposed to be like an arcade, old tribute back to the old arcades, right?
Right.
So a short, get in there, action, lots of gameplay, lots of stuff happening going on. And we built that, and then when we had the opportunity to work with PlayStation with the aim, it kind of changed the mechanic a bit because we had a lot of throwing and shooting and doing that stuff. So we picked up the aim, we started working with it, and first thing we realized is there's an orb on the end of this gun.
Right.
So this is perfect, right? So we actually, the first weapon in the new mode that we have, which really focuses on the old kind of gameplay of Gradius, 1942, like those old games. The first weapon that you're going to have in there is literally going to be the aim controller, and then that will upgrade as you, kill robots and things. You take them out, you get a POW, you shoot that, and your weapon will upgrade to more barrels, more.
Okay, this sounds incredible. I wasn't aware of all this.
Yeah, it's so cool because, like, you know, we have this other version of ROM. As you can see, like, the aim controller really enabled us to make basically a new game.
Right.
And that's what we as a studio love about VR, because we can do all these things now that we couldn't do before. And the aim controller, I mean, it literally changed the way we make the whole game, and it's a whole new experience, and it's totally fun in a new way. It's really fun.
That's great. So was this something where, you know, PlayStation came to you guys and said, hey, here's this great device, or were you aware of it? Because obviously it shipped with some copies of Farpoint at retail.
Yeah, no, we got the aim controller months and months ago, and we've been working really hard to make it feel really good on screen. And I think when people finally get their hands on this thing, they're gonna love the way this gun feels. There's no shake or judder. It's just very super solid. And that's a testament to the PSVR hardware and how good. Like the aim controller is a beautiful piece of hardware. It's awesome.
I think there's something to be said in a VR environment, and obviously VR, PlayStation VR, this is just the beginning of what, you know, is a new medium.
Yeah.
So it's early days. It's, you know, black and white, you know, if you will. But it's still incredibly exciting. It seems like there might be a good case for these types of peripherals to just further immerse you, further sort of fool the mind into creating presence. Yeah,
we partner with a lot of different companies on our Vive version to use gun peripherals for ROM, and with the stuff that's happening with the Vive, where you can have those trackers that you can put on stuff, there's really like so many new things you can do, and as good as regular gaming is, there's just something incredibly powerful about holding an item and interacting with the world that way.
Yeah, and the design with the two kind of thumbsticks, it's perfect. It's like a normal controller, it really stretched out. It really made sense. So we've got 5 new gun weapons power up that you get, and each one is going to have two levels of being powered up within the game. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
The mechanic I'm seeing here seems to be fire off an orb and then shoot the orb.
Yeah, so you fire the orb and you can charge it so it goes longer and faster, and then you slow down time when it's in a the best strategic place. Then you shoot it, it blows up and just causes total mayhem.
Yeah, so that's that weapon. We're having all different weapons. We're having like a rocket launcher that you'll be able to tag enemies.
Oh, sweet. This one reminds me a little bit of the shock rifle from the old Unreal Tournament games.
Yeah.
Combo you would do.
Yeah.
And that was one of the most fun, blissful moments in gaming for my entire history.
Well, that's the kind of thing we're trying to recreate here.
Yeah.
So we're super excited to be having this out on PSVR.
Great.
I really like the environment that you guys have built in this game. Could you tell us a little bit about what was the inspiration to kind of building this atmosphere in particular?
Sure. So, give you a bit of the backstory of the game. It's supposed to be humans have gone to the moon eventually to mine for like diamonds and different kind of resources, and they uncovered these egg chambers. No aliens there, just these weird egg chambers.
Yeah.
The eggs contain this energy. So the humans started harvesting these things, and then over the next 50, 60, 70 years, we start going to different moons to look for these. It's kind of like when turtles lay eggs on the beach and then they leave the eggs.
Right.
So we're coming along and like destroying their species, right?
Oh, God.
So eventually, they start creating these robots, which are a defense mechanism to stop us from wiping out their race. And that's what we're doing. We're going to the moons here, and we're being attacked by the defense system.
Yeah, you're the bad guy.
We're the bad guys.
You're the bad guy. Yeah.
Wow.
What does the title refer to? ROM extraction.
Well, extracting the orbs, obviously.
Okay.
Right.
ROM will have to wait till we unveil.
Secrets remain to be revealed, I see. Very nice. So from a VR perspective, what inspires you guys? I mean, like, what is it that drives you forward? What makes you want to keep innovating?
Well, both of us have been in the game industry for a long time. I'm just starting my 19th year, and he's got a few more under his belt. And to me, I made a game for PlayStation called Adrift last year.
Really cool game.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
And we started making that for VR, and when I personally put the first Oculus Rift on, it just changed how I wanted to make games, and I felt stagnant, and I was kind of felt like in a rut making games. I wanted something new and different, and that's what VR is to me, and it gets me out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whole new thing, like it's endless really what you can do and be in it for the first time. So we've always designed them from here looking down, but now like we can do whatever we want. Those amazing arms that we put in, and you feel like you're actually in there. So.
Right. It looks very immersive. Were there any big hurdles when you guys were kind of in the development process leading up to now?
No, not at all. It's easy.
All right, well,
tons of hurdles.
Well, let's talk about some of them.
So, I mean, the biggest thing, right, is you're dealing with 90+ frames a second.
Yeah.
You need that high frame rate just to minimize the latency to make it immersive, right?
Exactly. So, I mean, back when I worked on a Call of Duty, and everything there was about 60 frames.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of got us ready for this, and then it's like, well, 90. So it's like, oh, geez, now we have to do more. Still have it look really great. So that's the biggest challenge, and using all the latest cool like dynamic night lighting and things like that from the engines, which slow frame rate, finding how to use a lot of tricks and magic behind the scenes to get the same fidelity.
Yeah.
That is part of the fun of game development. I mean, the fun or maybe the frustration sometimes.
Well, I mean, that's a good point, but on a other note like that, like one of the other challenges is like as game developers and gamers, like everyone who plays games knows what it's like to walk up to a door and press a button and have an arm come out and play an animation and open and then you walk through. And as game developers, we know how to make that too. And the simple act of reaching out and with your arm and actually opening a door and approaching that how you create and design that is like, there's so many new problems to think about. But it doesn't feel bad to do it. It's exciting.
Indeed, this is why I try to explain, because most people have not tried VR. Certainly not like what I would describe as enthusiast VR, like PlayStation VR, things like that. And what I tell people is it's impossible to describe. It's like the smallest interaction can just feel so meaningful, whereas in a game, you're just looking at it and you're like, yeah, whatever, I opened a door. In a VR environment, you could creak the door open really, you could peek through the crack. It's such a different experience, right?
I mean, that's the peeking through the door. Like, we're making a game that, right now, that we haven't announced that.
Exclusive.
but that's part of it. And, like, opening that door and, like, looking out and using your body and your head to do it, it's so powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, shooting, everyone loves shooting. There's a lot of shooter games out there because it's fun to shoot stuff. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But what I love about VR and what gives me so much hope for it is the narrative possibilities. We're going to talk a little bit more about this today, Adam.
Yeah.
So I'll save some of my bigger
right.
comments for that. But I think it's just so cool that you can make an experience that's immersive and exciting and tense and filled with emotion when you're pushing a door open and peering through a crack. I mean, that's such a, think about the world that awaits us, you know, with VR.
Yeah, it's a powerful medium that, you know, we're only making VR, so we're totally bought in, and I'm really excited that the PSVR is taking off, and I think, you know, I'm looking around the show floor right now, and I'm looking at Battlefront behind you right now, and I'm going, that's going to happen in VR.
Yeah.
It's totally going to happen.
And we're getting some of these big budget games in on it now. I mean, Skyrim is now coming to PlayStation VR. We know about that. Gran Turismo Sport is doing VR, PlayStation VR this fall when it launches.
I saw a little bit of Gran Turismo the other day, and it blew my mind.
Yeah, you tried it out?
VR, yeah.
I haven't. So you guys get to actually maybe walk around the show a little bit, trapped on the stage the whole time. But yeah, it's an exciting time, and I think, you know, it reminds me of, you know, PC gaming or the original PlayStation CDs.
Right.
Like all that data, 650 megs on a plastic disc. How are we going to fill all that space, kind of stuff, you know? And here we go again. Right?
I know.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. We love being part of the PlayStation family.
So yeah, what's next for you guys? Like ROM extraction, and that's coming out pretty soon, right? On PS4.
Think around the fall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
So not too long to wait.
actively working on it right now, and we are working on a much bigger VR game right now
Fascinating.
that I think people hear about soon.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I can't wait.
Me neither.
Yeah. So. What's other than that? I mean, what do you see as next for sort of the VR medium?
I mean, there's a lot of talk at the moment about location-based stuff and where that's going to fit. A lot of people are trying different things.
Right.
Stuff's popping up. So I think a lot of the like untethered, big roaming around experiences could be something that we're going to see a lot of coming soon.
There's clearly some engineering problems and a number of fronts, and some safety problems probably too. But
Definitely.
smart folks are working on it, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it's just super fun being a part of it because there's no rules. We're just like, we're peering around in the dark trying to find cool stuff just like everyone else. Yeah. And it's pretty exciting.
Is there any VR titles out there that really grab your attention? I mean, just as somebody who works in the medium, somebody who's very familiar with the limitations, the challenges.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of really good titles out there. For me, I really like the ones that really empower you to do things you could never do, like Tilt Brush and Google Earth and stuff like that. Those ones really speak to me because, like, I can be artistic in a way that I never could before, and I just love that stuff.
I love horror VR.
Yeah.
I want to see a lot more really creepy, messed up horror stuff. So it's so immersive, and like I don't know if you've had those moments of playing where somebody comes up and grabs you while you're playing.
Oh my goodness!
Like,
I cannot stand that.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Resident Evil 7 was that for me was a moment when I played the whole game in PlayStation VR. And I as soon as I tried it, I said, why would I go back to the TV? There are games. I mean, TV gaming is going to be around forever.
Yeah.
That's not going to go anywhere. But there are certain experiences that are just exquisite in a VR capacity. And Resident Evil 7, I played the whole thing in VR, and it knocked me, knocked my socks off.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah,
really incredible.
Amazing.
Do you guys think we're getting to a point now where VR is becoming the relevant gaming format, or do you think that's even necessary? Because I like to have the options and stuff, but there are people out there, who think that VR is kind of destined to be the format and the way everyone games.
that's a good question. Yeah.
Maybe. I think it could be a while off before it becomes the thing, but I think where it's going to go for the masses first is really social, right? The thought of having a world like in Ready Player One, where people, at the end of the day, you go home and you go into this world and you're an avatar and you're in there. totally crazy and exciting and terrifying at the same time. Like,
Right.
What's going to happen? The human race, we're all just sitting there in VR.
I think VR is also going to be a choice. Like,
Right.
you have a lot of different stuff you can do with your time. Like, you can read a Kindle or, you know, play PlayStation or do VR. Like, you don't need to. I always tell people, like, VR is not going to steal your life, and
Right.
it's not going to become the thing. You're not going to be forced into doing it. It's just, it's there if you want it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are going to want it, and it's going to be thanks to games like this, ROM Extraction.
Thanks.
That's coming out this fall on PlayStation VR.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us. We got a lot more coming up, including more VR talk with this gentleman right here. We're going to have a great roundtable discussion, so I hope you could join us.
PlayStation